Can I interest you in a random non-Glock Euro pistol?
Ah, you are interested. Good. So, welcome to the workshop for what will no doubt be a very amateurish review, first impressions review of the Arex Delta Gen.2. I mentioned that I was getting this, and if anyone would be interested in a review of it, there are many out there, but usually done by proper gun tubers used to these modern things, so maybe I can give a slightly different insight. So I have got this pistol as part of my sort of a sideshow on trying to make myself a little more competitive in particularly the brutality scene. This is going to be accompanied by the VHS-2, which is also being upgraded. It's got dot, magnifier, that kind of thing. And yeah, this will be then the partner pistol to go with it. First impression when I pulled it out of the box was that the grip is very slim compared to a Glock. It was somewhat surprising. The front to back you can adjust. There are inserts in with the accessories, as is now standard. But I wasn't quite sure how recoil was going to feel. Maybe it was going to feel a little bit sharp. Texturing on here is very good. So off to the range I went. I'm using gloves because I want to be using this with gloves during the brutality matches, so I shall then train with the gloves. And it went very well, as you can see. What I did was I took a couple of boxes of half-finished ammo. I took some Fiocchi, some old Swiss ball, and I can't remember what the other one was, some Winchester white box random stuff. And it preferred, in terms of groups, it preferred the Fiocchi. Last place was the Swiss ball, which was surprising. But anyway, that here is the group with the Fiocchi. So the pistol was definitely showing potential, but there was something odd going on with the trigger. And for once, I'm the one that pulled the short straw with a new gun. Usually it's the bloke that gets something going wrong, which will explain why I have a red trigger safety lever as opposed to the normal factory black one. And what was happening was, as you can see in this vid, was that during the first stage, there was a hump in the trigger, in the resistance, and the trigger safety was riding against the back surface of the trigger well. And first of all, I put this down to, it's a new gun, it needs to be run in, dry fire, and etc. But the more I thought about it, I thought, no, this is never going to go away. There's something wrong with the dimensions of something. So I sent an inquiry direct to Arex. They came back very quickly saying, this sounds odd, send us a vid, which I did. And they came back immediately saying, yeah, there's something about the trigger safety, it's out of spec somehow. They sent me a new one, which I have fitted, and I don't have this problem anymore. It now goes back to the release point without any rubbing anymore. I compared the two parts, at least visually. I couldn't tell any difference, so I suspect there was just an unfortunate tolerance stacking of various parts that resulted in this this rubbing up against the frame. Anyway, very minor problem, very quickly resolved. So we'll have a quick overview of what's in the box and then talk about what I intend to do to make this a race gun of sorts. So in the box we have the pistol, of course. Now this red back plate is just my aesthetic choice because red makes things faster, innit? And then we have a very comprehensive and handy cleaning kit. We have two magazines, one with a 17 round capacity and one with a slightly extended 19 round capacity. These appear to be made by Mekgar. Very nice quality. The magwell, by the way, is slightly flared, so it makes insertion very easy. What I will say as well is that the base plate can be very easily removed without tools, unlike another brand that we all know very well. So cleaning these after whatever horrors are planned in Slovenia and in Finland will be a doddle. And as I mentioned, we have, of course, the variety of back plates for the grips. Now, added to that, we also have a vast selection of mounting plates available for the various sites that you can mount on it. The slide is, of course, pre-cut. I should have mentioned that. There we go. And this is why I got this pistol, because initially I wanted to buy an MOS slide for my Glock so I could change between irons and optics, but it was actually easier just to get a completely new pistol than to try and fiddle around with licenses and so on just to get a part, which would probably end up being more expensive anyway. So, new gun. In the manual, which is very, very comprehensive, there is also a list of all the sites that are compatible with the plates that are provided from the factory. And yeah, that's everything you need to get started, really. Now, one of the remarkable things about this pistol is the way it disassembles. You just pull back the slide just a touch, pull down the disassembly tabs, let the slide ride forward, and then the slide just comes right off. The rest, the barrel and the recoil spring assembly, comes out as every other pistol. And reassembly, you just realign the parts and just click the slide back into position, and that's it. You're good to go. So the first upgrade will be this Holosun 509 red dot. More than enough for the very occasional use it's going to get. I'm very happy with the 503 that's on the rifle. Now I'm going to mount this using the metal adapter, which I've now lost. There it is. There is an adapter plate in the kit. These are plastic and there's nothing wrong with them, but I was browsing the Arex store because they were very kind to give me a little discount voucher due to my little problem with the trigger, and I saw they had a steel mounting plate, so why not? And the other thing I'm going to change is the magazine release. I find the release on this, firstly, very, very stiff, and also a little too flush. It's not very easy to find. Now, although this is ambidextrous and I could push it with my thumb, I have used non-ambidextrous pistols for so long as a lefty that it feels weird to use my thumb. So what I tend to do, if you haven't already spotted this on vids, is actually use my trigger finger. And it sounds weird, but it works fine. It also ensures that my finger is nowhere near the trigger when I'm reloading, which is a little safety benefit. Anyway, just anatomically, you get a sort of a weaker push with the trigger finger, so it's not very easy for me to use this mag release. So there is a kit available. This is an ambidextrous one, just in case I do remember that I can use my thumb. So this should be slightly prouder of the frame, and it comes with two springs, a slightly lighter one here in blue. I'll have to see what it's like. I don't want it to be too light, obviously, because this is going to be easier to push than the other one, easier to catch on things, so I need to be careful that it's not too light. So we'll see which one is best. And in terms of tactical gear, I have gone for the Battle Gnome Solutions cane holster. This is a level 2, so it has a first level of retention around the trigger guard. You can hear it clicking in there, and then this securing loop that goes around the back, cut out here for your dot of choice, of course, and the release is through this thumb rocker here. So perfectly adequate for dynamic disciplines where the pistol's going to get knocked around and so on. So this is the model which is not molded for a weapon light, and this is a lefty one, of course. There is a right-handed version which is also molded for a weapon light. There is no left-handed version, so I have berated them, informing them that of the many superior qualities and superhuman powers our lefties do have, we do not have night vision. So one with a weapon light retention would be nice. In between times, they have very kindly said, of course, that the holsters meant for Glock, which do come in left-handed versions, with a weapon light fitting moulding are available, and they're compatible because these holsters for weapon lights hold the pistol on the weapon light, which is why they're model specific. So it doesn't matter. Normally this rattles about in a Glock holster because it's slightly slimmer, but because the holsters are holding the weapon light, it's not an issue. We'll come to that one day if I perceive the need to have a weapon light on the pistol. Right, time to get gunsmithing. So fear not, you will not be spared any nerdery, since I had to disassemble the frame here to get a clearer access to the magazine catch. So since it's all disassembled, I thought I could have a little overview of the features that I find interesting. Now bear in mind, the only other polymer pistol I know well is the Glock, so some features I may gush over may be mainstream in other pistols, I don't know, so bear with me. So the magazine catch design, I think, is really well rationalized. The fact that it's got a central catch, and that works simply by having the magazine button having a ramp on the left and the right of the catch, so that when you push, it pushes the magazine catch. That's a really clever design, I think. It also means that the magazine just has to have one central catch in there. Simplifies things again. So here we go. I've replaced the magazine catch. See, it protrudes now far more than it did. Nice and easy to find. I've chosen the lighter spring. It seems to me to be still pretty strong. There shouldn't be any safety issues, mag retention issues. Apart from that, the frame only has the disassembly catch in it. That's it. There are no rails molded into the frame like a Glock. So it is extremely light. I would say, tempted to say fragile, but obviously it isn't. Appearances are deceiving. So, as to the rest, these are the two components that you can take out of the frame. They're just held in by a respective pin, which we take out using a pin punch, unlike those savage ears at Polinar Tactical. So we have a front unit, which combines the trigger, connecting bar, and the locking block, and the rails. So the front rails are integral to the locking block here. So it means when you're pulling it out and reassembling it, there's no need to fiddle with the trigger spring like you do on a Glock, which you have to poke one of the arms of the torsion spring underneath the locking block and so on. So that was a very good design. And this I find particularly good. This is the lock, so to speak. So the connecting bar sits in this little saddle, like that, and when you pull the trigger, it goes forward. So this is all contained in this very compact unit. Here are the rails. Again, they're part of the removable system. So should there be any damage to them, you just replace the unit. And the disconnector is tucked away underneath. That's this little button here. It works laterally, just like a Glock. So it's using the rail here to push against it on recoil. And you can hear it click there. And we have the ejector, which is a little plate accessible from the outside. Again, if this gets damaged, you can just push in that little pin, slide it out, and put a new one in. Keeping an eye on that pin because it is very, very small, but something that can be easily done. I hope you can get a feel, at least on camera, of the quality of the lock work. The quality of the castings, the mouldings, the sheet stamping is all very well done. It's all very compact. So obviously a very well studied and very well matured design. So let's put everything back in. So there we go, it is ready. First order of the day will be to take it to the range and dial in the red dot carefully, and then I foresee lots of dry fire, mag changes, holstering, unholstering, also learning to point it instinctively so the red dot is visible straight away rather than having to wave the pistol about until it comes into view. Guessing that will just come with muscle memory. So that is the end of this review. I hope it was mildly interesting, perhaps interesting to see an amateur's perspective. And thank you, of course, as usual, for your support, whatever platform you wish to follow us on. And see you very soon, hopefully, on a range. Bye.